Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town for this Tuesday, November the 9th. I'm Gary Stevens. It is the second Tuesday of the month, which means in this time frame, we catch up with what is going on at the Holland Museum. The museum located physically at the corner of 10th and River in downtown Holland and virtually at hollandmuseum.org. And joining us today from the museum is its Education and Community Programs Manager, Michelle Stempien, on the Zoom connection this morning. Michelle, good morning and welcome back to Talk of the Town.
Good morning. It's nice to be here.
Glad you are with us. And if you have a question for Michelle about the Holland Museum, not only about where hours and costs and stuff like that, but about the many programs, activities, and exhibits, she'll be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. Let's start first with an event an activity that has been a staple for the museum for a number of months, went away because of the COVID-19 restrictions, but now is back full bore. That is Spark Lab, the Smithsonian Spark Lab. And there's a special thing called Inventing a Harvesting Device. Tell us all about that.
Sure. So our Smithsonian Spark Lab is our invention and creation space for families, anybody, anyone of all ages. It's open when the museum is open. So that is Mondays and Fridays. The Spark Lab is open from 1 to 5 to catch the after school crowd. And on Saturdays, it is open from 11 to 3. We have a variety of activities in the Spark Lab, and really the goal of Spark Lab is we give you a prompt, we give you maybe some materials, and you are there to create and invent based on what the prompt is. So our Invent a Harvesting Device is basically that. We give you the prompt of create something that will pluck apples off of this tree, and we give you some materials and you have to figure out what that's going to be. What is it going to look like? How do you design that? How do you make that with the materials that are in front of you? And then you get to experiment with it. Does it work? If it doesn't work, how can you fix it? How can you tweak it, change it a little bit? And so it does work. And so you experiment and create design. It's just a really fun activity, but we thought it was kind of great for our fall theme. So it goes along with fall harvest. So
the question is then, Michelle, for one thing, those of us who had to endure, and I call it endure because for some it's a creative challenge, others it's a creative nightmare. In high school, figuring out, how you're going to build a mobile that will protect an egg being dropped from a second floor window from breaking. And it's like, for some people, no problem. Others of us are, why do I even have to do this? So it is a challenge. But the other thing is this. I don't know how much you've seen maybe some of the creations or some of the innovations that these young minds have had about this challenge of investing a harvesting device. Can you tell us or describe it best, because we are on radio, of course, maybe some of the ideas that have come out of these young minds in trying to create a harvesting device?
Well, yeah, we've got, like I said, a range of materials. So there might be a cardboard tube. There might be, who knows? It's a wide range of things. And I'm always surprised with what they come up with. You could create sort of almost like a vacuum kind of thing that would actually vacuum them off the tree. So, they always astound me. Kids always astound me with what they come up with. So, it's really, and again, it's trial and error. And if it doesn't work, then you try something different. And we have people there to help and give ideas and suggestions, but we really want the individuals who come in to guide the experience. We're just there to help. So we're not gonna do it for you.
It's not one of those food competition things where you're the first one to get the material off the table, and the other people who might want to use the same thing, you're out of luck.
That's right. We have plenty of materials, and it's people share, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's a great group activity. So it's something to do with the whole family or a group of people who come in. They can try and do it as a group, or you can do it as an individual.
One final thing about Spark Lab: are there limits right now as to how many can participate at any one time?
We do ask that people mask, just because we do often have a lot of children in there, and since they're not, now they can be vaccinated, but many of them are not yet, that we are doing that to protect them. So, we are keeping it to about 30 at a maximum, at any one time.
Okay, I just didn't know whether or not, you had to have certain limits and stuff like that. And so just sort of keep that in mind. If you have a question for Michelle Stempien, who is the Education and Community Programs Manager at the Holland Museum, she'll be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. Michelle, let's talk about the featured exhibit at the museum, United for Progress, the La Oop story, and that's going to run through the first of the year.
Yes, that exhibit's been up since August, and we have it until January 17th. So time is starting to run out. You still have a good amount of time to get here to see the exhibit, but it is starting to run out. So this is a really fabulous exhibition, really talking about the history, the story, and the continuing mission of LAUP, which is Latin Americans United for Progress, and which is an organization that has been around in Holland since 1964, and really is a driving force for change in the Holland community. The LAUP focuses on the Latinx community, especially education, cultural activities. You may be familiar with their fiesta. If you've been in Holland for a long time, you may be familiar with the history of the Queen competition that went on for many years through LAUP, but also, their community involvement, but also their fight against discrimination. LAUP really has been around to promote a more equitable Holland for all. And so the exhibition really explores the organization's history, how they've evolved, and how they continue to serve Holland today. And with photographs and artifacts, information about their past histories, newsletters, just really telling this really rich story, this rich history that this organization has. The exhibition is entirely bilingual, and there's an interaction action station where we ask visitors, now that you've seen this exhibit, what does this exhibit inspire you to do in your community to help your community, to create a more equitable and inclusive Holland? What would you go out and do? We've just really enjoyed having the exhibit and working with LAUP. They're a fantastic organization. They've been partnering with us on a variety of programs, and we're just really thrilled to have it, and we hope you come see it.
I'll ask you real quick, Michelle, if some of the responses, I don't know whether or not it's something that the museum would have a monitor on or not, but when you go into that interactive part at the end after seeing the exhibit and you ask the question, what would you do or what can you do? What has been some of the responses that have been from some of the people who have seen the exhibit so far?
Well, you can actually see their responses because we left Post-it notes there, so you can write down what you're thinking you're going to do. So, it's been a variety of things, being an ally, being an advocate, voting, all of those kinds of things, writing letters, getting more involved in your schools, getting more involved in city government. All of those kinds of things have been written down and included on the board. So you can come by and see those responses, but also people have been using the Post-it notes if they recognize someone in the photos. They've shared stories about people in the photos, or that people have been mentioned in the exhibit, what they're doing now. It's really been interesting to have it be this very interactive space where people are actually responding to the exhibit and leaving those responses in the exhibit.
616-395-1450 if you have a question for Michelle Stempien from the Holland Museum. There are a couple of events surrounding and as a part of this exhibit of United for Progress, the La Oop story. A couple of events coming up between now and the next time we chat with the museum folk in the second Tuesday of December. Tell us about them.
Yes. So our next program that is in connection with the La Oop exhibition is Thursday, December 2nd. And at 7 o'clock, and this is a free program. Currently, it is at the museum. It will be on site. We are looking at if possibly having to move it virtually, but at this point, it's at the museum. We do ask you register for the event through our website. But
all right,
immigration to Holland, and so this program features Sarah Van Oosterhout and Aaron Van Oosterhout. Sarah is the managing attorney at Lighthouse Immigrant Advocates, and Aaron is a historian of Mexico. And so they will be talking about this history of the migration of people from Mexico and other Latin American countries into West Michigan. And really putting this movement in an international context. So they'll be speaking, there'll be time for questions. So we encourage people to register for this free program.
That is coming up on December the 2nd. There's another event coming up a week from Thursday. Tell us about growing up trans, racially adopted in wooden shoes.
Yes, so this is a very interesting program. This is part of our Cultural Lens series. And this is Thursday, November 18th, and it's at 7 o'clock. This is a virtual program. This will be on Zoom. So we do ask that you register through our website to get the link to join the program. So that evening, we are featuring Robin Afrik, who is originally from Korea and was adopted by a Dutch family in the 1970s. And also Rebecca Baker, who was also born in South Korea and raised by Dutch adoptive parents here in Holland. And so they're going to be talking about the history of international adoptions in West Michigan and their experiences growing up as transracially adopted Korean children in Holland. So they're going to talk about their stories of origin, talk about identity, and talk about their activism. So it'll be a really interesting story and program about these two women's really interesting experiences and growing up here in West Michigan.
Now, that's not tied. I mean, it is a separate program, which is not necessarily tied into the main exhibit, which is the La Oop story, but it does deal with another ethnic group in our area from Southeast and in East Asia, Southeast and the Far East as well. You mentioned about registering through Eventbrite. People might say, well, do I have to type up Eventbrite and then go search? Is it a little bit easier maybe to go to the museum website and then there's links to it to be able to register?
Right. If you go to our website, hollandmuseum.org, you go to our events, either our calendar or our events list, you can find the event that you're looking for. If it's the one on November 18th for the adoption program, you can click on that link and it'll tell you more information about the program and our speakers. And at the bottom, there will be a link directly to Eventbrite to go and register. And really, it's just putting a name and your email address and how many people will be attending, and that's it.
Now, there are limits in terms of how many can attend, especially on the virtual side.
Our virtual limit is 100 people. So lots of space for people to sign up for this program.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's going to be thousands thronging to hollandmuseum.org. It would be nice if they could, but it would be a nice problem to have. But
exactly,
I'm just looking at the logistics and the practicality of when the old advertising line, limited time only. Well, sometimes you need to be able to use that line, and it is true. 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. One more thing before we take the break, Michelle, is the fact that usually a lot of times when we come on after the first Monday of the month, with pardon me, second Monday of the month. Free second Mondays. Well, we missed out again this month, but not next month.
That's right. So free second Mondays, they come around every month. So the next one is Monday, December 13th. And of course, this is something that we're able to bring to you, the community, through the support of the Meyer Foundation. And it's from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. On those Mondays, we extend our hours on the second Mondays, and from 4 to 7, we are free to everyone. So we hope you'll come and visit us. And Spark Lab is open. We extend hours for Spark Lab those evenings. And so it is open as well for families to come in and play and explore.
Dare I ask this question? Of course, I'll dare to ask this question, Michelle Stempien. Another marketing term is called loss leader, where you might offer something at a free or discounted price at a loss to a firm to be able to attract people to your product, to your service. Offer it a little sample, and then they'll be able to follow up, and you have them full price. Dare I ask, Michelle, how effective is this second Mondays and maybe getting people aware of the museum and they become full-fledged members?
Well, that's always the goal. We always want people to be more engaged and more connected to the museum. And if the free second Monday brings you in and you have a good experience and you like what you see, and maybe you'll come more often, and maybe you'll come for a program, maybe you'll come for multiple programs, and then maybe that'll encourage you to become a member of the museum. And that's always important to us, as we want to engage our community in whatever capacity they're able to engage with us. And if that ultimately means you become a member of the museum, we would love that.
Well, Michelle, it's time for our listeners to get their calendars out, because there are a couple of programs coming up a month from Thursday, December 11th, that it's for the entire family, and it's involving not just the Holland Museum, but the Capon House as well. Tell us all about it.
Yes. So December 11th, we're going to have a very busy day. It's going to be our big holiday celebration. So starting that morning, 10 o'clock, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we will be having a Victorian Christmas program at the Capon House, which is on 9th Street. So you'll be able to walk through the Capon House, learn about Victorian holiday traditions and the Capon family and the house, but to learn a little bit about all of those things. We'll have a craft activity in our visitor center, and we'll have some hot chocolate. So people can just kind of walk around, visit the grounds and the house, and learn a little bit about Victorian Christmas, and just have an enjoyable morning. There is a charge for the event. It's $7 for adults, $5 for seniors, $3 for students. Children 6 and under are free. We do ask that you wear masks, especially in the house, because you'll be in smaller spaces with probably larger numbers of people. But it'll just be a really fun, family-oriented event. And we hope people will come out. You do not need to register. It's just open house. Come anytime between 10 and 1.
Now, after that little stroll at the Capon House, after 1 o'clock, head for the museum. Holidays around the world.
Yes, we are so excited about this program. This is a new program. Never done this before. Hoping it'll become something we do on a regular basis every year at the museum. So starting at 1 o'clock on December 11th and going till 4 p.m., again, a family program that is included with museum admission. Museum admission is $7 for adults, $6 for seniors, $4 for students. Children 6 and under are free. And again, we do ask that people wear masks. But that day, we will be traveling around the world and without leaving the museum. Visitors will get a passport and be able to walk around the different museum spaces and learn about different winter holidays, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. Of course, there'll be some things for Christmas. Also, we're going to learn about Nashua, which is a Kenyan holiday. And we'll be doing something Mexican themed as well. So We are working with Empowering Youth Global Connection, the Alliance for Cultural and Ethnic Harmony, I Am Academy, and LAU for this program. So you get to learn about all of the holidays that are taking place around this time of the year, not just Christmas. So, and we will have some Christmas carols from singers from the Holland Chorale as well that day. So
Make it a nice festive atmosphere. Michelle Stempien, how can people become involved with the Holland Museum, especially as a member of the Holland Museum?
yes, as we were talking about membership earlier, we would love for people to become members of the museum. It's really one of the best ways you can support the museum and its mission. And there's a lot of special perks. So a basic membership is $35. And of course, a membership is good for 1 year. And $35 allows one individual and one guest to get into the museum free all year long. A family membership is $50, which is 2 adults and children under 17 in that household. And then a premium membership is $125, which is 4 adults and children under 17 in the household, and includes membership in the North American Reciprocal Museum Program, NARM. And you also get a subscription to the Michigan History Magazine. So really great benefits in addition to free admission into the museum all year long.
Basically, it cuts down to, for the 125, it's, maybe if you want to call it that, about $10 a month, a little more than $10 a month. And, if you budget it out, and it does provide many fine of things. And the membership would last from year to year. It's not like, well, yes, you're applying in November of 2021 and oops, it's January 2022. You got to renew again. At least you don't have to worry about that.
That's right.
And again, a little bit of the nuts and bolts. The Holland Museum is open on Mondays and Fridays and Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. That is, of course, the old post office at the corner of 10th, West 10th and River Avenue in Holland, the Capon House, by appointments only for the most part. It's pretty much closed now, or can somebody ask for an appointment to see the Capon House during the winter months?
Correct. It is pretty much closed. The only appointments we're really taking are for school groups to tour the house if they're doing it for a school visit. Otherwise, yes, it will be available on December 11th. So if you would like to come and see the house, that would be the day to come and do it for the holiday program. Otherwise, yeah, we pretty much close down for the winter.
Yeah, focus everything on the Holland Museum. And if you need more information online, go to hollandmuseum.org, all one word, hollandmuseum.org, or you can call the museum at 616-796-3329. Again, that number is 616-796-3329. And if they don't answer right away, they will definitely be able to return your call and answer any questions you might have about the Holland Museum. Michelle Stempien, the Education and Community Programs Manager with the Holland Museum. I want to thank you very much for joining us today on Talk of the Town, telling us about all the fun activities and events and exhibits going on at the museum. Wish you and everybody at the museum well over the next month. Look forward to chatting with you again soon, perhaps as early as next month, but there'll be a lot of fine things going on. We'll talk to people at the museum in about a month from now.
Great. Thanks for having me, Gary. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Michelle Stempien on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.